dying matters to me? Well, there's a way to begin a conversation, but yeah, I've been involved with quite a few rather important deaths, and some went incredibly badly, and one or two went very well. Well, the ones that went very badly were my mother, because she died in a hospital of lung cancer in 1980, and she didn't have good care in the hospital, and she hadn't made any planning or anything, and she was very much in denial, because in those days we didn't talk about it. She never admitted she had lung cancer, let alone that she was dying. So that was awful, and I never stopped thinking about it and what more I could have done. Also, I didn't do more because we didn't really get on very well. You know, mothers and daughters don't always. And then my son died when he was 24 of a heroin overdose, and so obviously there was no planning for that. And at the time of the funeral and everything, I think I just was so drunk I had no involvement with it at all. I just was sort of carried along by my husband and friends. And then one or two friends died of AIDS, and they had made plans, and one of them decided he wanted to die on his favourite Greek island, and we got him there 24 hours before, so he did it absolutely how he wanted, in his house on this Greek island, surrounded by friends and family, and it just was great. And then when George, my husband, got ill, George was a very easy person to talk to about dying. I think we'd been making wills. I'm always changing my will, by the way. I love changing my will. And I got a wonderful photograph of him sitting in the garden with our son Tom, and they're thumbing through Shakespeare to find the right King Lear speech for Tom to read at his funeral. And actually there's a moment when George gets a bit upset and says, "I don't want to talk about that anymore." That snoring, by the way, isn't me, it's my dog who's sitting on my lap while I'm doing this. Shush. I like taking care of people, because when you're taking care of them, you have total control over them as well. So that's not quite as bad as it sounds, actually. And we had a wonderful GP. That's a huge help. Our GP came every week to see him, because she said that if you die at home and you haven't been seen by a GP, I think you're in danger of perhaps having a post-mortem. I think that's right. So in a way, it was perfect for George, and perfect for me too. And so with all that, I suppose I do think about death and dying from, I think my friends sometimes get quite fed up with me. It's, I don't seem to have any other subject except dementia, or dementia, as George used to say, and dying. And I think for my own death, I've just been thinking recently, I think I'll get a funeral plan, because I want the right music. And it won't be all George, there might be just one George song, because I much prefer rock and roll to jazz. And I want a wicker coffin. And I think I would like there to be a party in Chiswick House Park afterwards, because then people can bring their dogs. So I'm going to have a funeral plan. And I've also, as well as having my will, which, as I say, I'm always changing, I've also got an advanced decisions will, because I don't want to be resuscitated if there's not much hope of me being, well, you know, that sort of thing. And also, if I was in terrible pain, I hope there would be enough palliative care, and I know that is getting better. But actually, I would also like the choice of an assisted suicide. And that's not everyone's choice, but it would be mine. In fact, I've got a pact with several friends. We're all offering to take each other off to Switzerland, so maybe they'll change the law. We won't have to do that. I hope that won't be necessary. I think, yeah, so dying matters, yeah.